right, so today we're going to talk about embracing mistakes, and that might just make your guts just kind of clench up. You're like, that just doesn't sound right. I hate making mistakes. I hate being in the beginning of learning something new. But if you're in this course, chances are you're at the beginning of being an artist. You're at the very beginning stages. And there's nothing more true than letting you know that we have to learn, as artists especially, we have to learn to embrace our mistakes. So we're going to talk about that and have a healthy mindset going into this art journey, knowing that there's going to be ups and downs. Let's get into it. All right, so mistakes are opportunities for discovery. I know this sounds cheesy, but I really want you to try to lean into this, and just your mindset has to shift in some way. And I know that could happen over time. Don't expect it to all happen at once. But when we're painting, let's read this. When you're painting, especially in landscapes, where nature is so dynamic, things often don't go according to plan. You're in the middle of painting something and your colors mix unexpectedly, or your brush strokes may land in unintended places. I mean, every single time I paint, it doesn't matter how long you've been doing it. You might feel that the composition isn't coming along quite right. But here's the magic. Those mistakes often open up new creative pathways. And trust me, I trust it. When something doesn't go as planned, instead of stressing about it and just kind of losing it, ask yourself, what can I learn from this? How can I adapt and work with this new direction? So sometimes when I'm in the middle of a painting and I'm laying down my layers and it's going nice and smoothly, sometimes a mistake will kind of trigger an entire pivot in the direction my painting was going to be going. And then it ends up looking different than I ever anticipated. And I'm like, oh, I can't believe it. And it's better than I would have ever thought. Or it just kind of took a turn and I kept on making mistakes that it just kept on looking uglier and uglier. But then I sat back and I'm like, okay, how did I get there? How can I learn how to navigate this and do differently in the future? So whether it is a mistake that pivots you towards something that you never imagined and it was a success, or if it was a mistake that pivots you toward, man, that was a failure, but the next time you're painting that exact same thing, you're going to remember it, you're going to grow from it, and you're going to move forward in a more enlightened way. So try to remember that as we go through. Perfection isn't the goal with this. There's nothing in art that is perfect. If we wanted a perfect picture of a landscape, wouldn't we just go take a picture? You know, like painting is supposed to be organic. It's supposed to be imperfect. There's supposed to be just textures and flaws and things that are cohesive. But that's the beauty of art. That's why we do it. And I know that sometimes that's hard, especially if you're a perfectionist. You have to let go of your perfectionism when it comes to sitting down and painting, because otherwise this is not going to be fun for you. It's not going to be beneficial for you. You're just going to work yourself into a stressful state. And that is not what we want to do whatsoever, clearly. So we all know the feeling of staring at a blank canvas. I'm sure we've all been there. Fearing that first stroke might ruin everything. You're anxious. You're like, oh, I don't know what to put. There's a secret. There's no perfect painting. Art, like life, is about progression, evolution, learning. Every painting is a step in that journey, and mistakes are that stepping stone. Show me an artist who is successful, and they will show you an entire stack of paintings that they're not happy with, that they would see as a failure. They were built upon those tries, though. So it's a necessary step. And it can be a time to just explore and have fun and be like, I was able to just let my imagination run wild. Yes, does it look like something that I'm going to sell? No, not necessarily, but it was still vital in our art journey. So speaking of the mindset shift, instead of seeking perfection, embrace the mindset of continuous growth, little bits every day. A painting that didn't turn out how you envisioned is not a failure. It's an opportunity to reflect and adjust. Each piece you create, no matter how imperfect, contributes to your growth as an artist. Art teaches us patience. It reminds us that creativity is a process. There's parallels throughout this. The process of a painting coming together. There's the bumpy, ugly beginning stage where you're kind of getting all the layers out, but it doesn't look good yet. And then you continue to be consistent with it, and you slowly start to see the beauty emerge. You start to add the details, and you kind of forget about the ugly phase. You know, everyone knows about the ugly phase of the painting. So just adapt, continue to have your eyes towards improvement and discovery. And each challenge often offers a lesson in problem solving, adaptability, and perseverance. Mistakes foster authenticity. Some of the greatest art is not flawless. That's like we were saying earlier. The point of art is not to reach perfection. It's the raw, honest expression of the artist. When you embrace your mistakes and you embrace your authenticity, so you'll have more to relate with somebody who's another, say another artist, or just somebody who's also been on the road of ups and downs, just as we all have been. So as you press into this journey, you are going to be continually growing in authenticity because you've gone through this battle of steps forward, steps back, mistakes and successes. So there's always a balance between. Resilience in the face of setbacks. As an artist, I hate to break it to you, you will encounter moments of frustration, setbacks, people saying no to when you reach out for an opportunity, just silence, nobody's buying your work, or nobody's commenting on it when you share it on your social media. All of these things can get you down if you don't realize that it's not about all of these peaks. There's valleys. There's every journey has this. So the art journey is nothing different. So just try to stay in a positive mindset with this stuff, and I know that it will help you out so much. Learning to embrace these moments of frustration with resilience not only shape your art, but also strengthen your character. So it's not just about you as an artist, it's about you as a human being. You are being vulnerable right now. You're trying something new. You know that you're not going to be perfect at it right away, but that's courage. So there's traits that are inside of you that you are expressing just by taking this first step. And if you keep pressing into it, it's going to continue to improve you as an artist and as a person. So the takeaway, let's stop fearing mistakes and start embracing them in the end. They're what make art and life beautifully imperfect. I couldn't sum it up any better, because as an artist, you have to just be okay with the imperfect. You have to be okay with the mistakes. So if you're a perfectionist, I don't know, maybe painting isn't the right outlet for you. You could go into hyper realism detail, and maybe that's where the perfectionism in you will start to flourish, if you can get to that point of that immense skill. But even if you get to that point of that hyper realistic type paintings, there's still going to be so much imperfections all the way until you reach that skill. So no matter what your goal is here, this is something to remember. Have a mindset shift today, and just preface your entire art journey with these true things for us to remember. All right, I'll see you next time.